Advaita Garadhar Shiva Shadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Jaya Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Nitai Chaitanya Chandra Nitai Chaitanya Chandra Gauri. Jaya Nitai Gaur Chandra Nitai Gaur Chandra Gauri. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Jaya Radha Giri Hari Radha Giri Hari Radhe. Jaya Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radhe. Jaya Radha Nila Madhava Radha Nila Madhava Radhe. Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jaya Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Astatatar Shata Shri Srimad Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jaya Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Astatatar Shata Shri Shrimad Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Founder Acharya of Iskcon Srila Prabhupada Ki Iskcon Guru Vrinda Ki Prem Shikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Shadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Shri Mayapur Navadip Dham Ki Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Shri Radhanila Madhava Dham Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Yamuna Devi Ki Ganga Mai Ki Shrimati Tulsi Maharani Ki Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki The Most Merciful Lordship Shri Shinitai Chaitanya Chandra Nitai Gaura Chandra Ki Shri Shri Giriraj Govardhan Ki Shri Shri Radha Giridhari Ki Shri Shri Radha Damodar Ki and the most beautiful Lordship Shri Shri Radha Nilamadhava Ki. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga.
The DDs are here. No, actually, I'm pretty in that. I always like repurposing broken microphone stands. We just can't keep them together. I don't know what it is. Huh? Good enough. Good enough. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Giribanadari Gopi Jana Vallabha Vanadari Yasodanandana Prajajanarandana Yasodanandana Prajajanarandana Jamuna Tiravana Chari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Shri Shri Radha Nila Madhava Ki Shri Shri Radha Giridhara Ji Ki Shri Shri Radha Damadara Ki Shri Shri Yashoda Damadara Ki Shri Shri Giriraj Govardhana Ki Shri Shri Gaurnitaya Ki Srila Prabhupada Ki Gantara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Gaura Pramanandi Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 82, Text number 40. Yeah. Bhagavam stastata bhutam Bhagavam stastata bhutam Vivikta upasangata Vivikta upasangata Ashleshamayamam Prishna Ashlishjanamayam Prishna Prahasanidam abravit Prahasanidam abravit Bhagavan stastata bhutam Vivikta upasangata Ashlishanamayam Bristva Prahasanidam abravit Bhagavan stastata bhutam Vivikta upasangata Ashlishjanamayam Prispa. Right, double took on that letter. Try this one more time. Ashlishamanayam Prispa Prahasanidam abravit Bhagavam stastata bhuta Vivikta upasangata Ashlishjanamayam Prispa Prahasanidam abravit. Please, everyone, chant. Keep going. The other one. Okay. Hare Krishna. Word for word. Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord. Taha, them. Tata Buddha, being in such a state. Vivikte, in a secluded place. Upasangataha, going up to. Ashlisha, embracing. Anamayam, help. Pristva, asking about. Prahasan, laughed. Idam, this. Abrivit, said. The Supreme Lord approached the gopis in a secluded place as they stood in their ecstatic trance. After embracing each of them and inquiring about their well-being, he laughed and spoke as follows. Purport by the gracious disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti comments that Krishna expanded himself by his Vibhuti Shakti to embrace each of the gopis individually, thus waking each of them from their trance. He inquired, "Are you now relieved of your pain of separation?" and laughed to help lighten their spirits. Om Jnana Tamarandasya Gananjana Salakaya Chaksumaritam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Mano Vistam Stampitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Padatti Swapadattikam Vanchaka Paturubhyascha Kripasindubhyevacham Pantitenam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam panguna gayate garam. Yat kripatamaham vande shigurum dinataranam. Nama om Vishnu padaya Krishna prastaya bhutale Srimati Tamo Krishna Goswaminiti namane. Nama om Vishnu padaya Krishna prastaya bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti namane. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvesesha Sunyavari Paskatadu Satarne. I'm going to read the verse again and ask a question, get a show of hands. So no one's being singled out, it's just an interesting thing that occurred. The Supreme Lord approached the gopis in a secluded place as they stood in their ecstatic trance. After embracing each of them and inquiring about their well-being, he laughed and spoke as follows. From hearing that, how many of us think Krishna went to each gopi individually and embraced them and basically woke them up from their trance? See how important the purports are to our comprehension. And the association. Without the association, nothing happens. See how it is. Here Vishwanath Chakravarti is saying, he did his magic again. He went and embraced all of the gopis at the same time. And that could be for a lot of reasons. One, what if the second gopi woke up from their trance and saw, wow, why do you embrace her first? They're jealous of each other on a level of devotional ecstasy. Because if we remember correctly, he did the same thing in the rasa dance. He was dancing with each of them, and they only saw Krishna was dancing with them. And yet, Krishna disappears, and the only thing they noticed was their two set of footprints going away from here. Then they woke up a little bit more from their trance and realized, wow, he took Radharani. So maybe Krishna's thinking, I don't want that to occur again now, because after so many years, decades in fact, they're just seeing me and they're in a trance of ecstasy, remembering their childhood pastimes with Krishna. Lost to the world at this point. Completely lost to the world. And Krishna knows he's in trouble. Therefore, he's trying to make light of the situation that he hasn't been around for 30, 40 years. And he's about to speak, which I'm not going to get into. I'll let the next person pull that all together in one part, because I just think it's so interesting how we would never get this if it wasn't for the previous acharyas, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the beautiful devotees, disciples of Srila Prabhupada, who continued the task of translating the Srimad Bhagavatam. They actually, most of you weren't here then, they actually started their translations in the 11th canto. Prabhupada left during the translation of the 10th canto, and they translated the 11th canto, then the 12th canto, then came back to the 10th canto. And you can see, if you read the 11th canto is like the summary of a PhD thesis of the Bhagavatam. And therefore, the almost entire Bhagavad Gita is repeated in the form of the Uddhava Gita. The Sannyas Dharma is repeated in terms of the Song of the Avanti Brahmana. Beautiful, beautiful exhibition of just how superfluous everything we create and think about within the material world is. And superfluous as a word is misused lots of ways, but it basically means unnecessary externals when you're making a statement. You know, it's superfluous that one goes off and tells about all these other details that don't really matter, right? Objects, things, actions, like that. And then Krishna, now that he's with them, asks them, "Are you okay now? Do you feel better now that I'm here?" And gives a little laugh, like, right? You do feel better, right? Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We have to see him acting in a personal way. He saw the gopis looking at him from a distance. They didn't approach him. Rather, they simply walked off. Balaram saw this and he thought, I'm going to go do something else here. I'm not going to, that's what we heard Saturday from Radhika. I'm not going to involve myself in this tragedy. Right? I'm just going to go find something to busy myself with somewhere over here and let Krishna deal with what mess he's made with these beautiful devotees of his. Right? Not going to touch it. Not gonna touch it. Balaram came back when Krishna was absent to see the gopis. He did his due diligence. But he knows Krishna's in trouble. He knows these girls. He's seen them before when Krishna would get them riled up. He's seen what they're capable of doing. When Sri Radhakund appeared, which is coming up in a couple of weeks, it appeared because the gopis' anguish at Krishna contaminating them, that they dug their own kund with their own bracelets. And therefore, if you're very fortunate in your life, when you see them at times when they drain Radhakund, it never goes dry. Because in the very middle of Sri Radhakund, after you remove all the other water, there's a sparkling kund in the middle called Jangla Kund. I think Jangla Kund, it means bangles, eh? Right? Huh? Kanka Kund. Okay, Kanka Kund. My memory's muddled. Not from separation of Krishna, actually, that I separate myself from Krishna. Kanglakung, which means the bangles that they dug with their bangles, and that always remains there. And they put boards down so that you can walk all the way out there and place that water on your head. The last time this happened was 1988. '88, '87. I've heard it both. I was there in 88, and I'm still trying to remember what time. That was, okay, so sometime in 87, towards the end of it, they drained Radhakund under the explanation that milk was flowing in from outside of Radhakund. And therefore the water got all cloudy. So they drained it. And it was true that you could see along the sides of the kund, under the steps, that there was a white, milky fluid coming in from underneath the steps. But that was in 1980. My wife and I were there. Somehow we were just very, very fortunate. I don't know how often they do that or anything, but Dinabandhu Prabhu speaks very highly of that situation. But yeah, they put wood so that you can walk across the transcendental mud that's there at the bottom, all the way out to the center where you can take that water and place on your head. It is described at this place, as the question was raised yesterday, what's the difference between Mathura, Vrindavan, Govardhan, Radhakund, and that's explained in the Nectar of Destruction. It depends on what Krishna in the Nectar of Destruction, what Krishna has done in this particular places that make them more auspicious. Mathura Mandala is a very large area. I think it's 84 miles. It's some number of kroshas, which comes out to about 84 square miles, is Mathura. Many, many, many things happen. Vrindavan has the 12 forests. Krishna was born in Mathura. Krishna exhibited his pastimes throughout the 12 forests of Vrindavan. Krishna personally became Govardhan, but he bathed Srimati Radharani in Radhakund. She personally bathed there and left her elixir of attachment and love for Krishna in that place. So it's highest place on the entire planet. But do not be confused. If you go there and you talk to the panjas and etc. that are there, sometimes they have their own motives and very esoteric, advanced realizations. So Prabhupada warned us not to take shelter of the Radhakund Babajis, because it's not our position. We take shelter Srila Prabhupada, his descriptions in the Bhagavatam, his actions in the Dham, right? And just keep it to there. Whatever anybody else says. Many, many things come from Vrindavan that are not necessarily in accordance to the scriptures, some of which are in fact correct, very advanced, and some of which are concocted by people trying to come up with a new interesting idea. Prabhupada was very, very careful in what we were allowed to do and not do in his time. And I only know that from the devotees that I would associate with when I joined, who were all Prabhupada disciples. They taught us many, many things, some of which were also incorrect. You have to be a little careful. Prabhupada did warn us to beware of this, Prabhupada said. I've even heard many things that my spiritual master was supposed to say about particular topics. Might be right, might not be. I don't know. It didn't correspond to what I was told, personally, sometimes. So stick with that which is accepted, Prabhupada's Bhagavatam. Then we have a vision with which we can see what is reality from illusion, which is the Bhagavatam, for the benefit of mankind. That's truth. That's the Bhagavatam. That's why it's here, to reawaken our love for Krishna. And here we see the gopis, when they get fully absorbed in Krishna, they're gone to the world. They don't need this world to see Krishna. They're never part of this world because of Krishna. So therefore, there's a whole conversation that's about to happen. Whereas Krishna approaches like an old friend, childhood friend. In the next verse, just to give you not a spoiler, but an idea of where Krishna is going with this. Because we always hear the gopis could never be unabsorbed in Krishna. My dear girlfriend, do you still remember me? After all these years, do you remember me? Now, this is diffusing a situation, because the gopis remember him, and they remember that he never came back. So he's in trouble. He knows he's in trouble in that sense, huh? So he laughs a little bit and then plays very innocent, like, yet I don't really know what's going on here. I mean, he saw them looking at him too. And instead of coming forward, they simply wandered off. They just left the place. and went to a secluded place. And they're just going to sit there in that secluded place, wallowing in their ecstasy and wondering if Krishna's even going to come and talk to them. That's where the gopis are at. So he knows, wow, I'm in trouble. Because they didn't stay looking at Krishna and embracing it. Because he actually embraced them also in his heart at that same time. He saw them and he also acknowledged everything they were experiencing. But then they wandered off in hope that Krishna would come and speak to them and appease their pain that they're feeling in separation. Loyam. Pain. Any questions? Microphone.
That word, Ashlisha, what does that mean? I forget. I didn't listen.
Ashlisha? Embracing. Aplisham param param yadvanam. Yeah, embracing them. So Krishna is saying here on the word for word, Tata Bhuta, they're being in such a state. Right? That's we know what someone is in such a state means, right? They lost it. They are not part of this world. They've gone into some complete other sphere of existence. And we even think that about people. It's a polite way of saying that one lost his mind. Oh, they were in such a state, right? Very polite way of saying that. So Krishna is saying this here because they were in such a state, such an intense longing for his association. But this is transcendental. Don't think that all the girls in Vrindavan were crazy. They were, whatever. So then Vivikte, they go to a secluded place, and Upasanga, Krishna is going up to them. Aslisha, embracing. And inquiring, Anamayam, how are you? You okay? Is everybody right? He feels okay today? Your health is good. Trying to make it look like it's just a normal, meeting of old friends. We already went through that prior to this, and very little was said about it when Kunti was explaining and all these other personalities were meeting last week, and very officially, they were the kings and the relatives and all of this, but how much it meant to them that they were all okay. How is your health? I'm so happy to see you. Very polite, all of this stuff leading up to the gopis, who were not happy. And actually, as we'll see, they're actually quite angry that he never came back. And they tell him just exactly how much they're suffering. So we've got something really to look forward to. So we should all say a lot of prayers that we can not only be able to speak on these topics, they're very elevated, but at the same time that we could hear them, and in that collective association, understand at least a glimpse of what it means, this relationship between Krishna and his devotees, on every level, whether it's Dasya, Sakyam, Vatsalya, Madhurya. There's a relationship there for each and every one of us. So how are we going to understand this? It's true, the gopis' relationship with Krishna is the highest, but do we think our relationships are that? We can wish, we can hope. They may not be. In Shivaram Maharaj's book, Damodar Jivani, it describes the glories of this Vatsalya Bhav that Yashoda had for Krishna. And the proof of that is when she finally was able to tie Krishna, it was actually with the original rope that she had brought. And that she tied that knot in Vatsalya Bhav, so that no one else could undo it, except for Nanda Maharaj, who was also in that same rasa, that same relationship with Krishna, that only he could untie that knot. Yashoda Devi could not do it because she was devastated. She almost lost her son because of her foolishness. And this is her feeling, not me. I don't comment on these things. That she put Krishna in such danger. Nanda Maharaj was beside himself with relief. Angry that who could possibly have done this. And it's described that Krishna looked up at his father and he just said, Ma. And it just shattered everybody's heart. Of course, Krishna was never in danger. He's Krishna. But that's not how everybody felt. Krishna reciprocated with everyone equally. To impress the boys, he swallowed a forest fire. But before he did that, he told them, close your eyes. Because, you just can't imagine how much trouble Krishna got into for eating a little bit of dirt a few years before that. And every kid eats a little dirt. But he was so fearful of his mother getting angry if they found out he swallowed a forest fire. He said, just close your eyes. And all the boys know is that the forest fire disappeared. They don't know how. And therefore they didn't go home and say, wow, Krishna swallowed an entire forest fire today. Can you imagine what effect that would have on his mother? So Krishna made sure they never said anything about that. Didn't want to distress his mother. And in accordance with Shivaram Maharaj's book, this particular thing that happened had never happened before. That Yashoda just became so beside herself, she threatened Krishna with physical injury, physical harm by hitting him with a stick. She never approached him like that before. Krishna wasn't fair, and in fact, fearful. What have I done? Wow, how did I make her this mad today? And he was very afraid. He ran. And much the same as Yashoda could not bind him, neither could she catch him. Either. He made sure of that until she had worn herself down to the point where he felt safe enough to let her catch him. Right? The depth of Krishna's activities with his devotees is really beyond conception. We're not privy to that understanding, save and except for the realizations of his own esteemed disciples and devotees, the six Goswamis, Lord Chaitanya, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur. These great acharyas in our line are very important. So on these days that they appear and disappear, we have to absorb ourselves in their relationship. Tomorrow's a special day. It's the appearance of Virabhadra, who was Lord Nityananda's son and helped his mother diligently organize and take care of our sampradaya. And he was described, he was Vishnu himself. He's not just a devotee of Krishna, he's Vishnu in the form of the devotee of Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his own father, Lord Nityananda, like that. Very important day. It's not a fast day, but it is an important day, and these Vaishnavas should be learned about, absorbed about. It's important. Because we're not like this. We're pretty sure of that. I'm not making any statements on anyone else, but we're all collectively pretty sure we're not at that level of devotion, I would think. We may attain perfection in sadhana bhakti process, but we're not going to think, yes, actually I also came when Lord Chaitanya came because he wanted me there. Right? Now, good chance we were on the planet and not serving Krishna. There's a good chance of that. It's described we've been here for how many births? Who knows? Yeah, a good chance we've been here a while. We're lucky that Krishna has been so kind to bring us to this point, where we're now reawakening our understanding of Krishna, and with that, and our purification through the sadhana bhakti process, we are again able to desire a relationship with Krishna, which, as we know, all relationships require at least one other person that has to acquiescence to our feelings towards that other person. Doesn't happen in a vacuum. Right? So we develop a desire to have Krishna, as Krishna himself says in the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, verse number 9. Follow, if you can't surrender to Krishna just because he's Krishna, then follow the process of bhakti yoga, the principles, and you'll come to a stage of desiring Krishna. And then it's up to Krishna to reciprocate. He will. We just heard that yesterday in class. Right? The Sunday feast class. Thank you, Raj Maharaj. He quotes, it was 10th canto, 8th chapter, verse number 15. Huh? 9th chapter. I don't have a memory. How am I going to remember Krishna? I can't remember the verse from yesterday. But, irrespective of that, I do remember how the verse spoke that Krishna becomes controlled by the love we have for him. Now, the interesting thing about love is that it's not based on reciprocation. We simply love. It's up to the other person to reciprocate. But that should not dampen our love for Krishna. We have to love Krishna in spite. And we learn that from Lord Chaitanya himself, Shashastika. Right? Shli Sabhavanam Rastamam Darshanam Ham Karotiva Haram Karotiva. I don't care if Krishna crushes me. It makes me miserable because he's not here. Or it makes me miserable because he is here. Or whatever. I love Krishna. Nothing's going to change that. That's love. That's love. And we can look at all the relationships we'd have in this life and think if there are any of them that come even close to that. If we're honest, we'll find that that probably didn't happen in our life yet. Good chance of that. But then, I don't know. I have a very insulated life full of misery and suffering and disappointment and so many other things. I never thought anybody was ever close to me. Okay, back to where we left off at the last time I went off on my soliloquy. Any questions besides Sarvis? Yes, Prabhu.
I wanted to just check and see if I heard properly. Did you say at one point that at points it seemed like your spiritual master, Tamal Krishna Goswami, would say things that didn't sound right to you?
No, just that somebody would say things that Tamal Krishna Goswami said, and I'd warn them, be careful. I heard a lot from him. And generally the person didn't comment because they were a little afraid that, well, what if that's not something I don't know. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. I don't know. But, people have said, yes, I had one incident. It was a fun one. I had a temple president one time, many, many years ago, prior to this one, way back before we were here. And he wanted to get me to do a particular thing. And he looked across his desk. Well, Gurudev said you should do this. I got out of my chair, and I apologize. I'm a very rough person. I grew up in an interesting place and time, involved in different things. And I looked at him, and I said, he did not say that. And he immediately backed up in his chair, and he says, well, he would. Now that's a big difference in saying it and whether he would say it, because that's based on an other person deciding if Gurudev wanted me to do that thing because he wanted me to do it, he would say, so yeah, you have to be a little careful. There's enough confirmations out there and enough things that Prabhupada said in letters, conversations. It's all in writing. His books are the law books. That's the ultimate evidence. Other things are more specific during the time and circumstance and place and things like that, and they are just as important. But these are the law books. Because in the course of time, people are going to remember less and less of Prabhupada's personal activities and interactions. So many Prabhupada disciples are already gone. I mean, I have my own interesting, funny things that happen in that realm. Like I still can't figure out why anybody would address Prabhupada as Jagat Guru personally, just because he never said anything positive about that. And I've talked to many sannyasis and asked them, and there's different opinions out there. For me, it's difficult. When he gave them options to what to call him, the Jagat Guru wasn't one of them. But then that's me. I have some pretty whacked out realizations and assumptions and theories and things like that. I don't trust my own opinion on these things. Therefore, I ask a lot. Times different people, different situations. It's perfectly come to GBC, so many different people use that term. I just don't get it. No, I don't have an argument with it. I don't say, this is the first time I've ever really spoken in public, but for me it's difficult because I don't understand it. I can't see where that fits. You can look in Prabhupada's books and he can define it for you. I'm not of that quality that I can define that. It's not many mentions, but none of them are very positive from what I've seen and what I've understood. And again, many, many senior devotees, I've heard him refer to that, and I've also heard him, sing in the kirtan. I'm fine with it. I just don't understand it. That's my limit. And there's other things like that happen in my little mind, which is a very dirty place. But, I try to confirm everything before I say it in terms of things, how to do things, whatever. I really try to have it confirmed as much as possible in Prabhupada's books. Conversations, letters also. But I like to see it here first. And I'm certainly not an expert. But if I'm not comfortable, I personally won't do a particular thing. What to do? Be observant to what Prabhupada says. He is everything in this movement. There is not a movement. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, when he appeared, he had a desire to carry out Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission of spreading his glories throughout the world. And he figured out what would work. Sri Sri Radha Nila Madhava Ki Jai. Writing books. Hold on. This is about what? I know, take that outside of the class. Anyway, out of the class. I'm just saying my weakness. We can talk. I want to hear it. Because I've asked several people to look it up. I don't go online to do a lot of things. So we can talk afterwards. I don't want it to become an argument or a bigger thing than it is. It's just my own inability. That's all I'm saying.
godbrothers got very upset, thinking that he's trying to...
Yeah, people get upset with these things. That's why I don't get into big public conversations about them. Thank you.
Yeah.
Jai. Gantaraj Shriman Bhagavatam ki jai. That's why we need the devotees and the scriptures, and we need to hear these things.